Well, welcome to EEM 171 Codes and Installations. This is Jason Poole, and I'm going to be doing a couple of videos here to get you familiar with the lab and the equipment and where everything's located, and it'll make things a little bit easier for you so you can always come back and watch these videos again throughout the semester. So I just want to start with this first one, just showing you the tools you'll need as well as different parts of the lab and where everything's located. Okay, so I'll start off here with what you'll definitely need to bring to lab with you each time. And here we have a pair of wire strippers. You'll definitely be using those for almost every lab to cut and strip your wire. A pair of side cutters, which is good for cutting the Romex wire we'll be using, as well as twisting your wire together. Of course, screwdrivers, any Phillips or flathead screwdriver, you'll need those. And also a utility knife or box cutter. Okay, you'll definitely need that to strip the insulation off the wire. Okay, so those 5 right there are the ones you definitely need to bring with you. Okay. Now some of these other ones I'm going to show you are some optional things that you can bring. It won't be something that you need for every lab, but if you have your own and can bring it, that'll certainly make things a lot easier. Okay, here we have a pair of channel locks, which we use for our conduit work, and also attaching connectors to our metal boxes. Pair of needle nose pliers. Again, something you won't use for every lab, but if you have those handy, it would be good to have. A conduit reamer. You'll need that for the conduit labs, which we have those some of those here in the lab. So if you have one there, you can bring it. Electrical tape. Again, we should have that, but if you have your own, that's great. A Sharpie. You'll need that for your conduit labs, to actually mark the conduit, where to cut it and bend it. Tape measure for measuring the conduit and also the wire if necessary. Okay, and then we have a couple of testers here. These are a good thing to have. First one here is a receptacle tester, and it checks to see not only that it's actually working, but it also tells you if it's wired correctly. So you can see right here, depending on which lights are on, it tells you how it's wired. Okay, and it also has a GFCI tester with this button here. Okay, and another very handy tester right here, this pencil looking thing, okay, is a voltage tester. So it will let you know if anything's hot. I'll just show you how it works real quick. Just let me know that that receptacle's hot right there. Not something you're required to have, but it's very useful. Also a multimeter, which we have a few of those here in the lab. Be good to have, but if you have your own, that would be good to bring. Cordless drill, again, very useful, but we do have some of those in the lab. And last but not least, a pair of safety glasses. Okay, and we have a few of those in the lab as well, but they're not very flashy, so kind of old school, so you may want to bring your own safety glasses. And you'll mainly need those for the conduit labs that we'll be doing. Okay, so just to get you familiar with where everything's at and how the lab will work, most of the labs will be wiring labs of residential type devices, and right here on these shelves is where those projects are located. Okay, you can kind of see some of them: lights, switches, smoke detectors. Okay, they're all numbered, so you'll know when you come into lab what project number you'll be doing. You'll just pull it off this cart here, and there's some on the back side as well. Again, they're all numbered, so you'll know which one to grab. Okay, and if it's missing any parts, we have spare parts in the storage room, so just let your instructor know in the lab what you need, and we'll try to get them back in shape the way they're supposed to be. Okay, so all your wiring projects are right there, and then they will mount up here on these 4 workstations. Okay, and you'll use these thumb screws, which are in this box right here, to mount those up there, and I'll show you how that mounts a little bit later when I demonstrate. Some of the other projects that you'll be doing besides the wiring project will be the lighting ballast, changing out a bad ballast in a fluorescent light, and there is the fluorescent light here between these 2 cabinets. Okay, so you pull the bulbs off here, and change out that part right here. Okay, this lighting ballast. So if there's a bad one in there, you'll replace it with a new one. Okay, so that's the lighting ballast. Then also ceiling fan, which is pretty straightforward. Just mount that and wire it up to the 2 switches over here. Okay, all the parts are located on this stand here, all the blades and stuff. There are 2 conduit projects. One is bending conduit, and the other is threading conduit. And all of our conduit is located right down here. That's to the left of our back door in the lab down here. That's where we keep the conduit. Okay, so you see they have 2 different types, so make sure you get the right one. If you're doing the bending conduit, you'll get this thin type. For the threading, you see the one with threads here already is the thick type of conduit. Okay, so make sure you get the right kind. You don't want to try to bend that thick stuff. Okay, it's not fun. Okay, and you use a stand here to help you hold the conduit. Again, I'll demonstrate that a little bit later, how that works. And the other project is cable connections. You're going to make 3 different kinds of cable connections. So that's done in here in this classroom, 127. And you see the toolboxes here with the tools and cables that you actually need to do that. Okay, so you're going to do an Ethernet connection like that, and as well as a coax connection and a actual phone jack connection. I don't see an example of that to show you, but that's similar to the Ethernet, except it's just smaller. Okay, which all the connectors are laying here in these toolboxes. There's one of the phone connections. Okay, and these books up here show you how to do that and which tools to use on the cable connections. Okay. Also, before you start wiring any project, you want to make sure that power is off. Okay. So one thing to pay attention to is the stop light. Right now you see it's green. That means you're all safe to work. There's no power on the busway system. Okay. So no problem there, but many times there'll be multiple labs going on down here with motor controls as well as AC/DC machines over there. So oftentimes the power will stay on during the entire lab. Okay, So again, that's indicated with the light. So when the red light is on, that means there is power on the busway. So that means that everything around the room here is hot now. So on your particular wiring station, you want to make sure your disconnect is off. So each panel box has a bus plug, and you want to make sure that that is in the off position. Okay. So as long as that's off up there, you're safe down here on your panels. Okay. All right, one other thing, if you need additional supplies, wire nuts, light bulbs, things like that, this toolbox right here contains all that stuff. Okay, extra switches, things, safety glasses. So normally that's over there, but it's right here for this semester. So anything else you may need, we usually keep in there. All the conduit tools, drop cord, that sort of thing. Alright, so this is just a quick introduction to get you familiar with everything. I'm going to do a couple more videos here of some more specifics, but that's all for now.